All right, Bitcoin update on the daily chart to start us off with. Then we'll zoom out to the bigger picture, the weekly and the monthly, kind of see the bigger picture on multiple year levels towards the end of the video. But let's focus on the daily chart and what's happened over the past several days. Looking at where we are now, currently 16.5. Depending on when you watch this video, we might be very different from that. But looking at the chart and the chart alone without opinion, that's what a technical analyst should be doing for the most part. When you start to throw opinions in there, that's when you can get into trouble. So based on the chart, we're looking at a zone here, upwards around 19K, lower 17.5 to 19K. To flip more bullish, and you should be leaning bearish, because anytime you're under all your moving averages, no matter what time frame you're looking at, you got to immediately, that's a quick snapshot. If you're above all your moving averages, you should be a little bit more bullish. If you're below all your moving averages, you should be a little bit more bearish. So immediately, without looking at anything else, you have a bearish bias right now, right? Because you're below every single moving average. Now, having said that, to flip a little bit more bullish and to have a chance at a bigger breakout, maybe a local bottom, we would need to flip this zone, and rather quickly. The longer we stay down here, the more likely we are to break down further. So, really, we really got to start closing candles above 18K again. You can see our initial kind of attempt at it got rejected pretty harsh off of 18K. We made it to 18.1, which is these previous kind of lows right here, right? Then our local low at 17.5 that held for over 100 days gave way. And so now here we are. So any kind of rally until we get above this zone, maybe even 19K for a close, would be looked at as a, just that, a rally, right? So we'd be looking at, barring a massive, like, a Hulk candle, right? That's what we'd be looking for to really get us out of the mud quickly. Barring that, we want to be watching out for these little kind of rallies like this kind of bearish kind of setups, right? Where you kind of break out and break down previous. You got to watch these zones. So it's not enough to see prices at 19K or 19.5 or whatever K. If you're not closing multiple daily candles, this scenario becomes much more likely, this breakdown here. So just be mindful of that. Now let's zoom out to the bigger picture. Let's just zoom out on the daily and see if we can see anything. And, this moving average is kind of getting in the way. We don't really need them for this. So let's turn those off and just look at a naked kind of price chart here. And just based on TA and looking at this chart, what do we have here for support if we are to drop any further? Well, let's go look at the weekly and make it a little bit easier on our eyes. So let's zoom it out here and look at this. So where are we? We're at these kind of local tops here, but to have the most blatant, obvious chance of a support level, you need to have multiple times and multiple touch points. Do we have that here? Well, maybe a little bit, but it's really only one level, right? We've kind of broken the key level. This was the key level, and we've broken through the floor, right? Pretty much very bigly, right? So barring a immediate quick recovery, which is that likely? Probably not, given the current FTX events. We're going to have a hell of a lot of retail or, macro billionaire investors buying quickly here. Not likely, given the current events. So based on that, where do you think we would fall? You'd have to go down to the next level. Where would our next level be? Well, multiple touch points, multiple weekly closes. That's really the zone right there. You can maybe start around here, just shy of 14K with those wicks. Maybe you find a little bit support, but look how many weekly candle closes you have below that, around 11 to 12K, right? Many times across multiple years even, right? 2018, 2019, 2020, and then our blast off. So the logical levels based on just fundamental TA is 11.5, 12.5, something like that. Based on, you can see it with your own eyes, right? I'm not making those numbers up out of thin air. that is the logical place based on charting TA alone. So if you found TA helpful in any way, shape, or form at any point in your life, then you'd have to at least respect that level, because we broke a key level, right? The bottom could have been in. We now know that is not true. In light of all the events, this is certainly trouble. Now, the only saving grace that we're going to have from not coming down here, in my opinion, is a immediate recovery this week. If we do not get back above 18, 19K this week with a candle close this week, the odds shoot way up to come down to, 14, 13, 12, 11-ish K, right? Based on that. So that's my 2 cents for that. We don't have to discuss anymore. What do you think? Do you think we're getting ready to get saved and get blasted out, or are we coming down here? The odds are, with all the events, right? This is, and the key level breaking, this is here. There is a sliver of hope that we could, have a great week and recovery. And if we close above 19K, in 6 days, 10 hours from now, as of recording, there's a great chance that we could just trend sideways and slowly start moving up out of this. I don't know if that's the odds. I think this has probably stretched farther than most people are even aware of, even myself, right? I don't think anybody really knows how far the FTX BS reaches at this point. I think it's still too soon. So we will see, right? That's kind of a black swan event. Maybe the bottom was in, barring that. But now it's all ancient history now. So we have that to deal with, and who knows the butterfly effect on that. So that's that. Let's zoom out to the bigger picture, the monthly. And, some people are giving a call for 14K. And you can kind of see that initially because, right, that candle closed at 14K. Very close to it on the monthly, the previous all-time high close before our, last blast-off zone. So looking at that, 14K, sure. But, this makes it even more obvious to me. The 12K-ish, 10, you can even see that candle closed at 10, right? 10K. This candle closed monthly. These are monthly closes now. 10, just shy of 11K, right? There's another candle close that closed at 10K again. Our previous support, right? This closed 10K again, right? 11, 12K on the monthly. Seems like we could even touch that with a wick based on the charts, right? Now, I feel like maybe that's kind of a harder floor. If you want to look at, the possibility of, the zone, right? It's a little bit bigger of a zone, right? I would say you're really kind of looking in that area, 10.5 to 14K for a, starting to really harden up for a floor here. So that's, the daily, the weekly, the monthly for Bitcoin, just as easy as you can make it based on TA alone and as little opinion as possible. So looking at the month, could we recover, right? Could we recover in 16 days and end up closing at 19.5? Sure. That would be fantastic, right? This would be a super bullish candle on the monthly. If we close up here, all is still good. We still have an outside chance of this being the, the end of a bear cycle. But given the events, I don't know how many people are itching to buy right now. I feel like more people are itching to run to their exchange and pull all their money out. But that's just me. What do you think? Do you think there's a possibility? There is a possibility, right? There's a greater than zero chance that happens. But, given our emotions, leaving our emotions out of it as much as possible, that's what we'd want to look for on a chart based on that. Close above 19K on the monthly, 16 days. So December 1st, let's come check this candle, right? We could very well be down here, right, at this candle. But if we're at 19K at close, we still have an outside shot of, being done with all this. So that's the charts. Straightforward as much as possible. So I appreciate you watching this long. If you have, thumbs up. If you haven't, subscribe, YouTube, Telegram, Twitter. I'll see you on the next one.